Hello, everybody, and welcome once again. My name is Jack. I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, and I help people empower themselves through creativity. Now, if you joined me in some of my last couple videos, we talked about this book right here, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and we're going to go through some of the basic tools today that she uses in this book that are really going to get your creative juices flowing. But before we do that, go ahead and hit that like button. Give me a subscribe, because you know you're going to want to do this. You know you're going to want to be part of this community, because I believe that no matter what you do, whether you're a singer, a songwriter, dancer, photographer, filmmaker, lawyer, teacher, it doesn't matter. Creativity will enrich your life and just make you a happier person, because I believe we're all creative people. And I'll take it a step further, and I believe creativity and spirituality are one thing. And that's right. I know it sounds kind of weird, but the word spirituality, it can get thrown around a lot. It's kind of it's a triggering word. It's a polarizing word, and I think we need to demystify it a little bit and understand that when I say spirituality, I mean what comes from your heart. I guess it's just not something you over intellectualize. It's something that comes from you, and it comes through you from somewhere else. Where it comes from, I don't know. That's between you and whatever you believe. And that, again, your beliefs aren't important here. What is important is that you just trust that these tools are going to take you far, because I know for a fact that they will. Now, before we get started, I just want to say, I just want to mention a buzzword that's kind of been going around these days, and that is the term shadow work. Now, what do I mean by shadow work? Well, basically what shadow work means is it's difficult digging, right? You're going into your life and looking at the things in your life that may have happened in the past. Maybe they're happening in the present, or maybe you're worried about them happening in the future. And these things can block you creatively. They can be all kinds of things, right? For the most part, they're things that you don't want to talk about. They're things that are uncomfortable to talk about. And it may not be the most fun thing in the world to go back and take a look at these things, but when you do, you shine a light on it. You shine a light on the darkness, and you take away these little negative thoughts that are lurking in the shadows and keeping you from doing what you really want to do. It's a very subversive kind of devious thing that we don't realize is going on, and can stop us from doing the art we want to do, and painting that painting we want to paint, making that film, or even just getting started. Like, a lot of times, we don't want to be a beginner. Like, I'm just started playing the drums, and I'm comparing myself to Dave Grohl or Stuart Copeland or John Bonham. That's not fair, right? You got to give yourself permission to be a beginner. You got to give yourself permission to get started, even if it's something you are experienced in. Let's say you've been a painter, but you just haven't been doing it lately. Well, maybe those first couple paintings that you knock out aren't gonna be, your masterpiece. That's okay. Right? You just gotta keep going. You don't worry about the quality. You're gonna worry about the quantity, right? Quality is just gonna take care of itself. Back to shadow work and how we do that. How do we expose these shadows that keep us from reaching our true potential? Well, we do that with the use of a few simple, basic tools that Julia Cameron talks about in The Artist's Way, tools that I've been using for 2.5 decades now. And I find that, no matter how you feel about them, whether you have negative thoughts or whether you think they're great or whether you have no opinion at all, they work. Bottom line. So I want you to put aside your feelings towards them for the time being. And again, let's approach this like a scientist. Let's approach this like I'm going to do this. It's an experiment, and let's see what happens. Now, the first tool is a very, very easy tool to understand because the rules are very simple. The first tool is called morning pages. Now, what are morning pages? Well, morning pages are quite simply 3 pages of handwritten stuff. Basically, I wouldn't call it a journal, but it's kind of like a journal. The difference between morning pages and a journal is that when we think of a journal, we tend to come at it from a point of view is, we're going to go read it again, or we want it to sound good. We want to make sure we're saying everything right. You do not read your morning pages. I repeat, you do not read your morning pages. You just write them, and then that's it. Then you put them away, and then the next morning, you write them again. I like to do them the first thing in the morning. That's when you're kind of supposed to do them. That's why they're called morning pages, is you do them first thing in the morning. And here's why. When you wake up in the morning, you are a clean slate. Your day hasn't started yet. You are, like, lack of a better word, you're kind of in a neutral state. The momentum of whatever happened yesterday has subsided because you've slept on, you've had a good night's sleep, hopefully. At least you've slept. And it's your day. Your day is about to happen, and it's a great time to get everything on the page. Now, what do you do when you write the morning pages? What are the rules when you write morning pages? Well, the only rule is that you write 3 pages with your hand and a pen. That's it. That's the only rule. You can say whatever you want. In fact, you should say whatever you want, as difficult as that sounds. But remember, no one is going to read these. No one is going to read your morning pages, and I encourage you to not read them, at least not yet. Don't read your morning pages. Just get them done. Wake up in the morning, have your notebook right. You can keep your notebook right under your pillow. So when you wake up in the morning, you grab your morning pages, you grab your notebook. This is mine. I got it at Target. It was like 99 cents. This is all it needs to be. Spiral notebook. And this is it. You just do blah, 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 blah. Whatever you want to say. You say whatever you need to say. And you don't read them. Because reading them is not these morning pages, this is not art. What this is a brain drain. Everything that's on your mind, everything that's worrying you, like, well, I gotta do the laundry, then I gotta pick up the kids, and then I gotta grab something for dinner, and then I have a meeting at 2:30, blah, blah, blah. You get that on the page, you write that down. And the reason you do 3 pages is because what I find is that you're normally, when you're just dumping all your thoughts and your stresses onto the page, that usually takes maybe, half a page, page and a half tops. Once you get through that, then you really start writing down what you really feel, what you really want to say. And that's when you really get to the crux of the matter and you find out what you're really thinking. What are you really feeling? And eventually, hopefully, what you really want. That's the hardest part, is like, we don't even know what we really want. Like, let's say you are a painter. Let's say you are a photographer. Well, what do I want? What do I really want? Do I want to own my own photography studio? Do I just want to take wedding pictures? Do I just want to do it for fun? Like, what do I want? Okay, well, that's hard. That's not something you're going to know automatically, usually. So what happens is you just kind of think about it. You let that gestate. You let your ideas form. You find out what it is you don't want. Like, I don't want this. I don't want to be a wedding photographer. I don't want to take pictures of kids or whatever. And by knowing what you don't want, you figure out what you do want. Does that make sense? It's kind of like process of elimination. So 3 pages. Write them down. And sometimes people say, well, can I just say, I'm blocked, I'm blocked, I'm blocked, I'm blocked? Can I write that for 3 pages? The answer is yes. Yes, you can. You can write the same sentence for 3 pages. And you know what? I dare you to do it. I dare you. Write I'm blocked for 3 pages. You won't do it. You'll get maybe halfway down the page, and then you'll start writing what you're really thinking. It gets it out. It just gets it out. And, these these seem like something that would be only applied towards someone who wants to be a writer or someone who's trying to write a screenplay or someone who writes lyrics or poetry. And it doesn't apply to people who are painters or anything else or dancers but that's not true. Morning pages are for everybody. They're for everybody because it helps you sort out what you want. And, sometimes it can help you organize your day. Sometimes you're not really sure how am I going to get all this stuff done in one day? How do I fit my whole schedule in? They really, really help organize things sometimes. And when you're writing it down, it's even better than like a little like date book because you're literally going through in real time what you need to get done. Morning pages normally, I'm not going to lie, they normally take between 25, 30 minutes-ish. When you're getting started, when you first start doing them, it takes a little bit longer because you're getting used to it. Once you start getting into the groove of it, you'll start doing it faster. And don't worry about your handwriting. Don't worry about misspelling words. Don't worry about incomplete sentences. That was my cat. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff because remember, you're not going to read the morning pages. You don't read them. No one's going to read them. They just go back into your notebook, and then you come back the next morning and you write 3 more pages. And that's morning pages. So that's basic tool number 1, the morning pages. Now, what's basic tool number 2? Basic tool number 2 goes hand in hand with the morning pages because it's kind of the exact opposite of the morning pages. The other tool that we're going to talk about is called the artist date. Doesn't it sound fun? It's like a date, right? It's cool. It's a date. It's a date between you and your artist. So when you go on an artist date, it's you and your artist. Your artist is a child. Picasso once said that it's easy to create when you are a child. It's easy to make art when you're a child. The trick is staying a child and staying that way. So when you go on these artist dates, you do it alone between you and your artist that's a child. Now, you're going to be tempted to bring somebody along. Like, maybe it's your turn, to watch the kids, or it's your turn to, you promised your friend you'd meet up, or blah, blah, blah. And that's really just not how it works. And watch, you're going to let that creep up on you. Oh, I did my artist date, but my friend came along. No. It's really important you do this by yourself. You've really got to give yourself space to think and feel and observe and really get in touch with what your artist child wants because it's asking for stuff. It's asking for stuff right now. And you got to listen. You can't listen when someone else is around. So you give yourself time. An artist date does not have to take a long time. It can be 20 minutes. I'm going to go to Michael's and I'm going to look at easels, or I'm going to look at pens, or I'm going to buy a pack of microns. Or I'm going to go to the greeting card store and I'm just going to find cool little trinkets or a cool wrapping paper, or I'm going to go to a yard sale, or I'm going to go to the Goodwill and rummage through some vintage clothing. Or you take yourself to see a movie, go see a movie by yourself. Go to the store and grab yourself some groceries because you're going to make yourself something that you've never made before. It doesn't matter what you do. It's just what matters is that you set aside the time. You have to plan it, right? I'm this Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. or, maybe you have a lunch break at 2 p.m. Or maybe you get off of work at 6 and maybe you can go on your artist date at 7 p.m. Or maybe you have to wait till Sunday. Whatever it is, you make a date. That's why it's called a date. You set aside that time and you stick to it and you stick to your artist date. Because, when you promise yourself you're going to do something and then you follow through and you do it, it's like when you make a date with somebody and they show up. You're like, oh, that person now has credibility. If you make a date and that date flakes on you or they ghost you and they don't show up, well, that person's lost all credibility. Now you're like, whatever with that guy. Maybe he'll show up, maybe he won't. But with an artist date and you make that date and you do it and you show up to the artist date, you've given yourself credibility. Now you trust yourself. Now your artist child trusts you and it's going to feel free and it's going to want to play. And then all of a sudden, these creative ideas start coming from what seems like nowhere, but it's not nowhere. Our ideas are coming from a divine source. They're coming from the creator, whoever that is, the creator itself. It comes through us. We're just the vessel for it, right? I talked a few videos back about the great creator, right? If God, and there's that word, God is a polarizing word, right? God can make you think about stuff that you don't want to think about, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to call it God. You can call it anything you want. You can't get wet by the word water. So you can say the great creator, the force, source energy, the universe, it doesn't matter. But whoever created everything you see around you, trees, grass, the sky, the sun, the moon, whoever created all this stuff, whatever created all this stuff, the Big Bang, it also created you. Also created you. So you're a divine entity. You are the source of which creation flows. And it's important that you do that. Yeah, and I guess, that's it for now. I think that's enough. So I already just threw two big things at you, right? Morning pages and artist dates can seem daunting, but the artist date, you just want to do one artist date a week is what you want to do. If you can do more than that, great. Do more than that if you can. But try to take one artist date a week and schedule it, stick to it, and get those morning pages done. 3 pages every morning. Go out, buy yourself a notebook, get yourself a nice pen, put some stickers on it, right? Say this is my morning pages, and you'll be proud of it. It'll be something that, maybe if you are the type that really wants to get a cool little notebook, then, get something cool, but it's not necessary. Just make sure that it's yours and that you get them done. That's all that matters. 3 pages. So, morning pages, artist dates, that's enough for now. I just want all of you to just really be proud of yourselves for even attempting this, because a lot of people don't even want to do this. So if you're going to go ahead and you're going to give this a shot, I really, really, really am proud of you. And you should be proud of yourself as well, because you're going to empower yourself. You're going to make the world a better place. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you peace. Go forth in grace and gratitude and show the world your greatness. Thanks, everybody.